Hey guys, quick follow-up video from uh, what I started last night, dealing and talking about the topic of traumas. In yesterday's video, I talked about triggers, and everybody can relate to a topic of trigger and what triggers us, and the point of the conversation is um, to remind people that when you're triggered by everything, you are subconsciously, or I would say unconsciously, reacting to every situation. And in order to take your power back and to remain in your power, um, and in control of your life and what's going through your head and all of that, you need to work on becoming less reactive, because when we react to something, we kind of go to our lowest vibrational state of thinking. We go to our lowest state of brain waves, and uh, we're just not thinking clearly. We're reacting. But the point is to go from that to a position where you can respond, because a reaction is uncontrolled based on what's being experienced in the environment, and a response is a cool, calm, calculated, and thoughtful engagement in what's going on rather than just reacting to it. Um, it's it's very important to do that kind of work and to think about why certain things make you feel a certain way. So anyway, that's the whole point of talking about triggers. Uh, the potential for you to take your power back is in letting go of reacting to everything and becoming intellectually, spiritually, physically, whatever it is, engaged, and to understand why you're engaging with that energy or that thought, and then how you're going to go from being reactionary to being somebody who can respond appropriately. Um, Another huge part in going to the next step in this topic is, to think about our communication and our communication with self, our communication with the world around us and other people around us. Everybody, there's little memes on Facebook, and there's other ways that people have said it, but it's a great principle. Communication has always been pushed as this is the most important thing. Communicate, communicate, communicate. And everybody's always saying, the most critical aspect of companies, of families, of whatever organization you're a part of is communication. I disagree with that. Comprehension is the big deal. Comprehension is where freedom comes in, because everybody all the time is trying to communicate. There's random communication going on all the time on social media, the TV, coming out of people's mouths. And if you're not comprehending what somebody is saying or why they're saying it or why you're communicating with yourself in a certain way, you have the potential to completely miss so many lessons in your life that other people can become great teachers in. Things that we experience in our environment can become great teachers if we're open to the comprehension of the material. Rather, I've spent most of my life, I know personally, when I'm in a conversation with somebody, especially somebody of an opposing viewpoint, I'm not trying to comprehend what they're saying at all. If you've ever been in an argument with your spouse or a loved one, you pretty much shut off the comprehension side of your brain, and you're only focusing on how you're going to respond, react to what they're saying, and the information you're going to give back. Part of taking, to me, in my experience, a large part of taking my power back was to close the lips, stop trying to respond or react verbally so that somebody thinks you're, whatever, that your opposing view is better, or whatever the conversation or the communication might be, but rather just stop talking and work a little bit on what is being said to you and why is it being said to you. I've had people say some of the most hurtful things to me, but there was truth in it. I can look back on things that have been said to me and it's like, man, that hurt really bad when somebody said that to me. But when I sit in the position of a student instead of a reaction position, and I don't worry about responding and I don't worry about firing back, There's a lesson to be learned in a lot of communication, even silent communication. You can learn a lot by somebody's body language or level of eye contact and all kinds of things going on all the time. So another part of taking your power back, something I want to share today because I've got a lot of content about traumas and how to take your power back. I would say to work on comprehension about what's going on around you. Are you comprehending what God or the universe or another human being is trying to get across to you? Take time for comprehension. Comprehension takes self-reflection. Communicating doesn't take any self-reflection. You can just and you're spilling all the time, and you're never slowing down. You're never putting yourself in the position of a pupil, if you will, somebody who wants to learn. And staying in that position is critical in my experience to learning how to take your power back and to deal with traumas. And because I'll tell you this, traumatic communication is a very real thing. And what I mean by that is, I'll get into more traumas as some of these other videos come out later, but traumatic communication is a big deal. A lot of the times that we talk to ourselves in a very traumatic mind frame. I know there's other people who have similar experiences to me where you talk down to yourself a lot. Oh, Ryan, you idiot, that was stupid. Why'd you do that? And it's just, traumatic communication can create all kinds of damage and miscommunication potential in our lives. So I'll go more into traumatic communication and how things can be transferred from generation to generation just because it's verbally expressed in a certain way. Just because this is what's crazy about traumas and people living these out in so many different areas of their life. You don't actually have to go through a trauma to experience and to have to deal with the traumatic communication and how that's affected your life and your thinking patterns. I'll share more about that in a later video. I also want to talk about transitional characters, becoming a transitional character in your lineage. But anyway, another important part of all of this is communication. Even more important is comprehension. Ensure that you're being patient enough with yourself and with other people around you so that you're comprehending what really is being said. If you don't want to position yourself like that and you don't want to learn how to communicate with self, comprehend why you're feeling the way you're feeling, comprehend other people, that's cool. You don't have to. But I can tell you, I believe one of the richest interactions we get as human beings is to deal with other human beings. It's not always easy. It's hard to deal with ourselves at times, but communication and comprehension go a long, long way. So anyway, guys, a quick video on that. And I want to try to get some more content out this week, specifically focused on transitional characters and epigenetic, like traumas that are transferred just in communication from generation to generation, and then how to remain in your power if you've lived through traumas, if you're going through one, or if traumas have been handed to you by the family, by groups of people you're involved in, all kinds of things. So much love. It's a beautiful sunny Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to getting more content out. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.